What's up YouTube, Papa Snorlax here. As mentioned in this week's Gundam Roulette video, I'm running green-white at this locals this week. The deck I landed on is what I'm calling Turn A Dynamis. While I was trying to decide what to bring, there were actually 3 other decks I built and I seriously considered. So today I'm going to dive into those decks, talk through my thought process, and then explain why I ultimately chose Turn A Dynamis. But before we get into it, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you don't miss future Gundam Roulettes, deck profiles, and more Gundam TCG content. This first deck is what I'm calling Wing Academy. This is a build I've been thinking about running since GDO4 came out, and now that I finally have the resources to build it, I've been able to play a few games with it, and from what I've tested so far, it actually feels pretty solid. The deck runs the full package of Ilfris and Flats for early defense, along with 4 bird modes to help get EX resources onto the board. We also have Ilfrith to help add cards to hand alongside Overflowing Affection, and then we also have Ilfrith Thorn to equip command pilots to our Ilfriths on the board. Since we're running 9 total Ilfriths, Thorn has a good number of targets. For the higher end, I'm running Fract over the turn 6 Wing Gundam because Fract synergizes better with Academy units, and when they get pinged, he creates an EX resource. Then finally, we're finishing the game out with Wing 0. I will say this deck still needs more testing to really lock in the ratios, but so far it has ran pretty well. The biggest thing I noticed is that it really wants to go second so you can get that first EX resource. You also want to see either 2 of your turn 3 blockers or 1 blocker plus a bird mode in your opening hand to make sure the early game runs smoothly. Next up is my version of green-white Turn A War. Similar to the blue-white version, this deck is trying to rush the opponent down and get Turn A online as quickly as possible. In this build, Turn A has access to Breach, Suppression, and High Maneuver, giving it a lot of different ways to pressure the opponent. We're also using a lot of Zeon-based cards to help get the game state consistent. Sharzaku 2 lets us look at the top 3 cards and add 1 to the hand when he's destroyed, while Zanzibar helps us play units for free and keep pressure on the board. While I did enjoy this deck, I didn't like it quite as much as its blue-white counterpart. One of the biggest weaknesses is that it can struggle against blocker-heavy board states. If the deck doesn't whittle the opponent down fast enough, the game can swing heavily in the opponent's favor. The last deck I put together was inspired by Dynamis' defense mode where the shield wraps around him. With that concept in mind, I created a blocker-heavy deck to create a line of defense while I'm trying to get Dynamis out to run over enemy units. This deck was tied for my second choice alongside Wing Academy for what I was going to run this week. I really like the concept and it definitely feels like something I might come back to with more testing. Now with those 3 out of the way, let's take a look again at Turn A Dynamis. So this was the deck I ended up choosing. It appealed the most to me and ultimately was the one I wanted to run. When playtesting it felt the closest to the blue-white Turn A deck I played last week. The only exception, it runs Dynamis, which gives me another way to interact with the opponent, allow me to attack directly into standing units that my opponent has on the field. I'm also running 3 copies of Unforeseen Incident to catch opponents off guard when they try to block or swing into my units. Being able to protect key units or punish awkward attacks should help my board stick around a little bit longer while I'm trying to push for game. Compared to the other green-white Turn A War, this one just felt more consistent and could make plays that the other one couldn't because of the Dynamis package. So these are the 4 decks I put together for this week's roulette. What do you think of these builds? Is there one you would run over the others? And if you like this style of content, let me know. I can start showcasing more than 1 deck each week for the roulette and talk through the different options before I choose what I bring to locals. With that, I'm Papa Snorlax, and thanks for watching.